You love your cat. You've read the labels, tried the premium brands, maybe switched their food 3 times this year. And you still have this feeling that something is missing. Here's what most owners never find out. 10 of the most effective foods for your cat's health are already sitting in your kitchen. Most of them cost almost nothing. And the last one on this list doesn't just fix a problem. It answers something your cat has been waiting for you to understand since the day they arrived. I'll get to that one at the end. 1. Plain cooked pumpkin. You've cleaned the litter box twice this morning. Loose stool again. Or the opposite. Your cat has been straining for 2 days and nothing's happening. You assume it must be serious. You start researching prescription diets. But here's what most people don't know. The fix is already in your pantry, and it works in both directions. Pumpkin contains both soluble and insoluble dietary fiber. Soluble fiber absorbs excess water in the intestines and slows transit during diarrhea. Insoluble fiber adds bulk to soft stool, stimulating the colon's stretch receptors to relieve constipation. That same fiber matrix sweeps ingested fur through the digestive tract before it accumulates into a hairball. Without it, the cycle continues. Mess, discomfort, a stressed cat. 1 to 2 teaspoons of plain canned pumpkin puree mixed into their meal. Never pie filling. It contains xylitol. Within 24 hours, you will notice the difference. 2. Blueberries. Your senior cat moves a little slower lately, less sharp. You chalk it up to getting older. Most owners do. But here's the truth most people don't know. A significant portion of cognitive decline in cats is driven by oxidative neuronal damage. And that damage is something you can slow. Blueberries are dense with anthocyanins, flavonoids that cross the blood-brain barrier and neutralize free radicals at the cellular level. The same compounds inhibit bacterial adhesion to the bladder wall, reducing the risk of urinary infections. Left unaddressed, mental fog deepens quietly over years. 2 to 3 mashed blueberries, fresh or frozen, a few times per week. Clarity and comfort will show it. 3. Sardines packed in spring water. Your cat scratches constantly. Their coat looks dull. They rise from their favorite spot slowly, as if the first few steps cost something. You assume allergies, maybe genetics. And here's what makes it tricky. It may be chronic, low-grade systemic inflammation that has never been named. Sardines contain EPA and DHA, long-chain omega-3 fatty acids that compete with arachidonic acid for the enzyme that produces inflammatory compounds. Fewer inflammatory prostaglandins means less joint pain, improved kidney blood flow, and visibly healthier skin. Because sardines are small, short-lived fish, they accumulate far less mercury than tuna. Ongoing inflammation silently accelerates joint deterioration. A small portion packed in spring water, never brine or oil, twice a week. Within 3 weeks, most owners notice the coat first. 4. Plain, unsweetened Greek yogurt. Your cat just finished antibiotics. They're eating again, but something's still off. Loose stool, low energy, an unsettled quality you can't quite explain. You assume the medication is wearing off. But here's what's actually happening inside your cat's gut. The antibiotics cleared harmful bacteria and most of the beneficial ones with them. The microbiome is now largely empty of the organisms that regulate immunity and digestion. Greek yogurt's fermentation process breaks down most lactose, making it tolerable even for cats that can't handle dairy. The live cultures, Lactobacillus acidophilus, Bifidobacterium lactis, recolonize the intestinal wall and restore competitive exclusion of pathogens. A disrupted microbiome prolongs digestive instability for weeks without intervention. A half teaspoon of plain Greek yogurt, no sugar, no xylitol, mixed into their food. You will notice your cat settle faster. 5. Cooked eggs. Your cat is recovering from surgery or visibly losing muscle mass with age. You want to help them rebuild. Most owners reach for expensive supplements, but the highest biological value protein available to you is already in your refrigerator. Eggs score nearly 100 on the biological value scale. Their amino acid profile maps almost perfectly onto a cat's tissue requirements. They're also rich in choline, essential for liver function and neurotransmitter synthesis. Always cooked. Raw eggs carry salmonella risk and contain avidin, which blocks biotin absorption and causes dangerous deficiency over time. Without adequate bioavailable protein, muscle loss accelerates regardless of commercial diet quality. Scrambled or boiled, no salt, no oil, 2 to 3 times per week. Recovery becomes visible. And before we get into the second half, if you're already rethinking what's in your cat's bowl, hit like and subscribe so we can reach more cat owners who want to understand what their cat's body has actually been asking for. 6. Steamed green beans. Your vet said your cat needs to lose weight. You've switched to the diet food. Your cat now cries at the empty bowl and follows you to the kitchen every time you move. You feel like you're starving them, because in one real sense, you are. But here's what you're not thinking about. Your cat eats volume, not just calories. Their stomach still needs to feel full. Green beans are exceptionally low in calories, but high in dietary fiber. Substituting up to 10% of a restricted cat's intake with steamed green beans activates stretch receptors in the stomach wall, triggering satiety without significant caloric load. Without satiety, the begging is not manipulation. It is genuine physical discomfort. A few plain steamed green beans alongside their regular meal. Weight loss becomes gradual, healthy, and considerably quieter. 7. Seedless watermelon. You've tried 3 bowl styles, a fountain, multiple locations. Your cat still barely drinks. Here's the truth. Cats evolved from desert-dwelling ancestors and carry a genuinely weak thirst drive. Many live in chronic, mild dehydration without obvious symptoms until the damage is already accumulating. Watermelon is approximately 92% water and contains lycopene, a carotenoid studied for its potential to reduce oxidative stress in kidney tissue, relevant for cats prone to urinary crystals or early renal disease. Chronic dehydration concentrates urine and accelerates crystal formation. Small cubes of seedless watermelon, rind completely removed. Fluid intake increases and the kidneys work with less resistance. 8. Boiled zucchini. Your senior cat seems off in small ways. Muscle twitches, unusual fatigue, an irregular heartbeat your vet mentioned but didn't seem alarmed by. These signs often get attributed to aging and left there. But here's what's actually happening. Mineral depletion, specifically of potassium and magnesium, is a real and underdiagnosed issue in cats on long-term processed diets. Zucchini provides both. Magnesium is a required cofactor for over 300 enzymatic reactions, including nerve transmission and muscle contraction. Potassium maintains the electrochemical gradient that drives steady heart rhythm and fluid balance. Deficiency in either compounds quietly into cardiac and neurological stress long before it becomes a diagnosis. Boiled until soft, plain, no seasoning. Its texture makes it one of the most accepted vegetables even for finicky eaters and seniors with dental pain. 9. Steamed carrots. Your cat produces a hairball every few days. You've used the gels. You've tried the hairball formula food. It keeps coming back. Most owners treat this as inevitable background noise of cat ownership. But here's what makes it tricky. Hairballs are not primarily a grooming problem. They are a fiber deficiency problem. Steamed carrots provide cellulose and hemicellulose, insoluble fiber that acts as a mechanical bulking agent through the colon, sweeping ingested fur along before it accumulates into a mass. Cats cannot convert beta-carotene to vitamin A, so the value here is entirely structural. The fiber, not the color. Chronic hairball formation stresses the esophagus and stomach wall over years. Steam until fork tender. Raw carrots are a choking hazard and completely indigestible. Mash and mix in. The reduction in frequency is measurable within weeks. 10. Plain cooked chicken or turkey. Remember at the beginning when I said the last food on this list means something different from everything else? This is the one. It is not exotic. It does not require sourcing or research. It is simply the most ancestrally correct food you can give your cat. And what it does at the biological level goes deeper than any of the other 9. Skinless poultry is naturally abundant in taurine, an essential amino acid cats cannot synthesize on their own. Not in insufficient amounts, not under stress. Not at all. Without a dietary source, the heart muscle begins to degrade, a condition called dilated cardiomyopathy. Retinal cells die progressively, leading to irreversible blindness. Before commercial diets were reformulated for taurine supplementation, deficiency quietly caused heart failure in cats that otherwise appeared perfectly healthy. Plain boiled chicken is also the universally recommended food when your cat is sick, recovering, or frightened and refusing to eat. It is what you offer when nothing else is working. What this food actually is, at its simplest, is the most direct biological answer to what your cat has always needed. Every time you give it to them, you are speaking the one language their body was built to understand. None of these require a prescription or a new routine. They require paying attention to what your cat's body was built to process, and understanding that the distance between what they need and what you already have is smaller than most owners ever discover. Now you know exactly where to look.